This is another one where I'm probably not going to be up too long. Got other things that I've been taking care of lately. So, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to make the brackets to fit the rear end. That way it's the way I want it to. I've already cut my steel for the rear axle brackets. I just need to make damn sure that this stuff fits. Now, while we're here, I want to make sure that these bolts, yikes, fit. And of course, ooh, boy, that's tight. That's a tight fit. I don't know if I can make that happen. I might be able to make that happen. We'll see. Really just need to make the brackets right now. But stay tuned with me. I'll put you over here so you can see more. There you go. All right. I'm going to get started on recording. I've already kind of started earlier. I need to continue with this. So, now, yeah. Go. All right, get my other camera. Use my camera. Let's start recording again. Doing all right here. Doing all right. Oh. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Oh. There we go. Is that better? Is that better? Yes. That's better. All right. Here we go. Start recording. Maybe I'll be up longer than I thought. I don't know. There you go. You feel better now? That's good. All right. So cut out my drawing here. The same thing here. I'm going to draw it out best way I can. Now, one of these plates is just a tiny bit bigger than the other. That's okay. Oh, I don't need to draw that. I'm an idiot. I really just need to do the outline of the cutout here. Okay, you can do that. Now, I'm going to do the same trick again, and I am going to put these up tight. Now, like I said, one of these is a tiny bit bigger than the other. I don't know how that happens, but clearly I cannot cut as straight as I thought. That's okay. Get my hood on. I'm going to tack these together so they don't move while I'm drilling this thing down. And then I can put a 3-inch hole in there. I think it's like 3 3/8 inches, but either way. This time I'm going to be smart, and instead of trying to use 7018 to do things that 7018 is not good at, I'm going to grab some 6013 or 6011, whatever I get my hands on, and do it that way. It is. I don't know how that happened. One going down, one going up. I don't know. That should be more than enough. I hate the cells. This Twisted 13 is actually a really useful rod. I just hate the smell of it. All right. Get this out of the way for now. I'll fix that later. I'm making a go-kart. A big one. So I like to show this stuff because I seem to be a Diablo fan. I also have their hole saw kit, which are, instead of threading these on, they're quick release. So I can quick release these different ones. Not only that, they also give me these adapters to put on regular hole saw bits, such as my big old 3-inch bit. Just like that. Now obviously I'm going to crank on this thing so it doesn't over tighten due to torque. There we go. There you go. Piece of cake. It is a wheelbarrow cart. That is absolutely right, sir. You are correct. Put this in. Here's where things get a little tricky. What I need to do, where them plates at? I need to line these plates up so then my drill bit I need a straight edge. And I also need a clamp. I need to line this up. So it sits right where I need it to. I also need my pilot bit here to go right through the material without deviating. So I need to line this up as dead on as I can get. Right about there. Now, in reality, as long as I get this somewhat close on here, it's going to translate to exactly where I need it to go. But I need to clamp this thing down good so it don't move on me. That looks pretty good right there. That looks pretty solid. That looks pretty solid. Looks like we have a winner. All right. So I need to make sure that this is clamped down so it will not move at all, which is also why I have this here. Part of the reason why I have it there. Now I should be able to go right through. There's nothing. Drill through my, I don't want to drill through my freaking table here. Just realign this. Now with this, when I go to cut this, everything is going to be moving around, so I have to make sure that everything is clamped down super duper tight. Right where I need it to go, right along the lines as needed. Here it goes, nothing. That's not true, here goes everything. That's gonna be a good one. Blade's dull. Make it work anyways. Alright, so we are spinning. We're spinning the belt. Kids, don't try this at home. Oh, I can smell that belt. Oh, I'm burning that belt up. It's not working as well as I wanted it to. Just 2.5. This is 2.5. How close will 2.5 inches get me? Ooh, not very, huh? Damn. Wheel. I don't have any other asphalt bits, do I? Look. Well, I'm here, so. I'm gonna give you Chuck the key. keeping that bit because it's shot. Just for giggles. Let's see how close a 2.5 inch bit gets me. And if I gotta grind it out a little bit, I'll grind it out a little bit. That 3-inch bit is gone. Just realized I'm out of stroke. Damn. Hate when that happens. Uh-oh. There we go. One coupon. Very hot. Very hot coupon. Second coupon. See what the difference is between a dull blade and a sharp blade? Bink. Easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Thanks. Just wait till it's done. Where's my rag at? There's a full-blown freaking t-shirt. Oh, it's not even a t-shirt, it's a freaking sweatshirt. Of course, I gotta cut these tacks off that I did. Freshly cut. All right, half press. Let's see how well this fits. Nope. Well, that one might fit, but that one's something isn't gonna fit. So let's widen these holes up a little bit more. Let's see how we do. Really? Nope. Need to go wider. Dang it. Alright. Well, and that means what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until probably at some point tomorrow during the day to cut this, because I have to fire my generator up to do this, and I don't want to be making that much noise during the nighttime while everybody's sleeping. So that's going to be put on hold. I was kind of hoping to get this fired up today, because I saw my little 3-inch bit here and I said, ooh, I can wait, but nope, that's garbage. Dang it. Oh well. That's how life goes. Some days, but not every day is a good day today. Alright. That being said, you guys get to run the show tonight. What do you want to say? I can cut up some Weld coupons. Show you some tricks of the trade. Yeah, I can do that. Why not, right? We're gonna do some weld practice today. I need some anyways. I need to get more done. We'll do some lives to answer some of your guys' questions. Maybe you want to see something specific. Let me put my saw blade back on. Yeah, give me a comment. What do you guys want to say? I gotta hold off on this. I'm really on hold. 60-10. You got it. Ask and you shall receive. Maybe. You son of a bitch. All right, 60-10 coming up, sir. Just for you. So I'll cut some oil coupons with my saw here, and we'll do some, we'll run some 6010 and some 6011 to kind of compare the two, show you guys the difference, which there's not very many. I'll also get the rubber tires that have air in them away. Put this away too. Later. All right, so let me grab that piece of 3/8 inch plate that I had here. We'll cut some coupons here. 6010 is a fast freeze rod. It is also a very deep penetrating rod. Where did that come from? So with that being said, the rod can be utilized for many, many things. How do you get that draw saw, otherwise it's going to ruin the blade. Get yourself a pair of these. These are kind of nice. Even though that's not what they're for, they work really well. Let's cut some plate. Oh. I'm also going to put my gloves on because something tells me it's going to kick. We're also going to beat on this blade. I'm trying to see how long this Diablo blade lasts. I've got a lot of cuts. This entire frame behind me, cut with this blade. So, we're going to do... Saw that coming. this over. Felt like something was burning for a second. It is nighttime, not morning time. It has a hard time cutting through this hardened plasma section. You sure need to go to bed. We've got plates. Really? A giant can of 6010. And of course, you guys, the ones that actually wanted to see this. All right. Tux. Tux is the rooster's name. All right. Okay. course, doing this stuff ends up throwing me into a whole different loop of things. So, we'll get started. It's not going to high, just in case. All right, so 60-10. You're probably right. He's okay. He'll be fine. .60-10 is my favorite rod to run, as pretty much any of my students will tell you. Even though it is probably one of the more difficult rods to run for somebody, especially in their home garage, because most machines are not capable. Let's put you guys over here. You know I got a ton of shit. But if you get a machine that is capable, it's a really good rod to run. The alternative is 60-11. 60-10 has a sodium in the flux, and 60-11 instead of sodium has potassium. For whatever reason, potassium requires less voltage. So my Yes Welder CT2050 here, which is a 7-in-1 stick welder, TIG welder, AC and DC, as well as a plasma cutter with an air compressor, actually runs 60-10 quite well. So I'm going to use this as my base plate. Shove this in my vise here. Okay. Now with pretty much every other rod, you can just drop and drag, or you can do a weave or whatever. 60-10 is special. It's a special child. Like I tell people at school all the time, it is the rod only a mother could love. Meaning that when you first start welding, you're going to hate it until you learn to use it. Then you're going to love it. But there we go. Got my Pano V2 hood so I can see what I'm doing. Got my little Hotheads 2.0 clipped so I can get the fumes out of my face. Do you have a generator going? Nope, I'm running this off of 110. The wall outlet. Right there. It's plugged into 110. Matter of fact, you can see on the machine, voltage, 126, even though it's backwards for you, or 125. Yeah, that's the standard household outlet. So I'm running at about 85 amps or so. Now with 60-10, if you have the option, I would turn your arc force up as high as it'll go. I would turn your hot start up about midway. And I'm going to use 1/8 inch 60-10 because that's what I have. And I'm going to take a big old coupon here. Make a T-joint, just like we practice everything else. And what I'm going to do is once I strike the arc and get it started, which this rod is a little easier to start, I'm going to bring it back, close that arc up, and I'm going to step it. I don't like to call it whipping because I'm not really whipping away from the puddle. I'm just doing this stepping motion. This stepping motion fast freezes the puddle, cools it down, and when you whip away, and then when you come back, it heats the puddle back up. That's how you get that dime stacking look. 60-10 kind of needs to do that. If you just drag it across, its penetration varies greatly. So we need to step it. Not only that, this arc moves around a lot, so you can really stabilize the arc with the stepping motion. So I'll run one, and I'll show you what it's ideally supposed to look like. First, I attack this thing. Now 60-10 is a harsh rod. its arc is crazy. And so a lot of times it'll even split both directions. You just got to manage it. The best thing I find to do is step it. Ready? I'm going to do a stepping motion for you, and it'll look like. Oh. What's the lowest amperage I could go? Reasonably, about 45. Like, technically speaking, I could use 6010 down to 60, 8th inch 6010 or 8th inch 6011 down to 65 amps, but I really don't like to do that. The lowest I like to go is 80. But there, that's 6010 in a nutshell. Whoops. Now, to throw a curveball at you, the alternative is 6011. As a matter of fact, the majority of welding procedures that allow 6010 will also tell you that 6011 is an alternative to it. Meaning you don't need another weld procedure to run 6011. You can run 6010 or 6011 interchangeably. That's how similar they are. One thing you will notice that with 6011 is that it's a little bit smoother. As you go up in the numbers, 6010, 6011, 6013, 6014, and so on, the rods tend to run a little smoother because of their flux chemical composition. Now, what I have is I have 332 6011. So I would get some 332 6010 or 6011 because you can practice with that, and you can drop it to 60 amps. And you do the same exact thing. It acts the same. But you'll notice from the sound and from the harshness of the arc, it is a tiny bit smoother. That's really the only main difference here. Now, where you're going to see the difference here is the weld size. The weld size might be a little different because I'm running a smaller rod. But here we go. That is not 6011, that is 6013. I am an idiot. I should have read. This is 6011. Let's try that again. Very similar. Well, like I said, the biggest difference right now is that I'm running a 332 rod on 3/8 plate, so it's not going to look the prettiest. But that's 6011. 6011 runs the same. So you can practice with 6011. I'm going to run some more 6010 because I love this rod so much. I'm on 85. I'm probably getting very close to running the limit on my breaker there. That's probably why it's cutting out. But so typically I would want to run hotter, especially on stuff this thick. But it gets the job done. What else you guys want to see? So how could you try to TIG efficiently if you can only run about 75, 80 amps on 110? Well, 85 amps is more than enough for most things. Now, the best thing you can do is on, say you're welding on 1/4 inch plate and you need to make a weld on 1/4 inch plate for whatever reason, you need a TIG weld. The best thing you can do is bevel it. Even if you have a T-joint, bevel it. Take a little bit of space. And then weld it in a series of passes. It's a little bit more time consuming, but you can do it. I kind of want to try my TIG welder out anyway, so maybe I'll set it up. I haven't TIG welded with this machine yet. I gotta charge my battery. All right. Well, if we want to see some TIG welds, let's pop the TIG chipper going. Gavin, you're a pain in my ass. I'm allowed to say that because I'm not technically your instructor anymore. Okay. So, yes, welder. Now, when we're doing TIG, we need to run DC negative. So my ground has to be on the negative side, or positive side. Ground has to be on the positive side. I'm gonna have to put this torch together. I got a cup and stuff. So 75 to 80 amps. You can still run 332. You can still run 2% thoriated. This torch is special. I forget if this goes right into the bottle. Does this go right into the bottle? It must go right to the bottle. I don't have a... No, it doesn't. Oh, yeah, it does too. No, it doesn't. What the hell am I saying? What am I doing? This doesn't go... What the hell? I'm drawing a complete blank. Yeah, this goes somewhere. So this goes, is a 5-pin. This is special. That is a tight spot to get my fat fingers. You guys have the TIG welding class, don't you? That's right. I might have to, oh, there it is. TIG. What? It goes in here? Oh, I guess it does go in there. Son of a biscuit. What? Here? It's plasma cutter. But it also is used for the inert gas eject valve. Come on, get in there. And then I gotta plug in my argon. I don't remember how much argon I had left on this thing. I don't remember how much I had left. I think I had like 800 pounds left in this bottle. More than enough. Yeah, about 800 pounds. That's more than enough. All right. So what I'm going to do is something. I'll just run a standard collet body. I run a 332. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't think I have 332 anymore. I don't. That's all right. That's all right. I have a... Yeah, do it right here. What an ass. I don't remember. If I remember right. All right, so I gotta. Here's my cup, and I need my back cap. I need a back cap. So I've got a gas lens. Try use a tungsten as filler wire. Let's get this thing fired up and we'll play with that. So this one, if I remember right, this one is a tri-element tungsten, purple tungsten. Okay, 332 still. All right, so I'm not breaking out any 16th inch. I'll try the 16th inch as filler metal, but I need to put my back cap on here. I'm just gonna make sure this all tightens up. Which it does. All right, cool. And then I just gotta sharpen. No, not radioactive. This one is the, this one's a tri-element. I'll put my tungsten grinding skills to work. That tip is fucked. All right. So you're telling me that you can only run 80 amps on 140? Am I hiring anybody? No, I am not hiring anybody. I'm the wrong person to answer that question. I wonder why that's not. Okay. Tip. Okay. Let's fire this machine up. Ooh, I got a bad gas leak somewhere. Anyways, I'm also going to get a piece of 8-inch plate. Oh! Let me cut a piece of 8-inch plate. Probably just easier if I do it on bandsaw. Rightio. put this piece in here as kind of my piece. And I'll show you that I can run 80 amps and still get a semi-decent weld. And now that I'm thinking about it, all I really have is 3/32 mild steel filler. Or you guys want me to try a tungsten one, which we'll do that. I'll tell you what, we'll do it. I'm gonna probably get a piece of like lanthanated or something. Oopsies. I need a grinding wheel. Where are my grinding wheels at? Right in front of me. I'll take my 1/4-inch grinding wheel and I will take off all this mill scale. No, it has to run separate, so I have to disconnect the TIG torch and plug in the plasma cutter right into that port. All right. So I got the mill scale off of both sides. All right, that way I don't run the chance of picking any of that up. Fire this machine up. We'll go to DC TIG. So you're saying you're going to do 80 amps. Okay, there we go, about 80 amps. I'm going to set I like a 4T trigger, pre-gas, start. Slow down, stop, post gas, do a little bit more. Okay. Alright. So, 80 amps. 332 filler is going to be a little on the hefty side. Should really use 16th inch filler at 80 amps. But I'm going to see if I can get it done anyways. So I got 332, 70S6. Dirty as shit. Now, the nice thing about this trigger, I've got a trigger, but I've also got a scroll here. This scroll, as I'm welding, can set the amperage for me, and I can go up like 10 amps at a time. But I'm not really gonna fool with that right now. Just get all these slopes out, loops out. And we're also gonna see how well this machine does. So, ooh, metal's dirty. Metal's super dirty. Oh, well. All right, got a piece. Could get a better view? I will try my best. See if I can slide you in. It's about as good as I can get without you, like, putting you in my hood. All right, so I'm gonna get this thing started. You can already see I've got a lot of dirt. I'm gonna see if I can give myself a little bit better gas coverage. I'll turn it up to 40. Maybe that'll help, maybe it won't. I don't know. But I'm gonna get this thing started. I don't have any pulse on or anything like that. I'm just gonna get this thing started and see if I can run across. The only thing I don't like about this torch is that it doesn't have a flex head, but make it work. Oh boy, I got crackle. Boy, that looks like he's getting no gas at all. Oh, well, that might be the problem. My cup is not fitting right. Better yet, it's broke. Well, that ought to... Let's try that again. It looks like my lens came apart. I'll have to regrind that. Let's try that one more time. But this time with the gas lens not pulled off. Like I said, 80 amps is a little low. What I'll have to do is I'll have to move that puddle around and just wait for it a little bit. I can get it. It's just going to take a little bit more time. That's better. You can't really see what I'm doing at all. So what I have to do to get this done, and I have to watch what I'm doing, but I have to wash down and up. It ends up not looking quite as pretty. Kind of like that. Can you see? Wait, hold on. Where are we at? Oh, there we are. There we go. Now, I'm also not getting a great, angle. Whoops. So let me spin this thing around. Let me do the backside now. Woo! Woohoo! Woo! Hot. That was dumb. Let me do the backside where I can get a better angle at it. Now, since I welded the... Yeah, but I can do better than that. I can do a lot better than that. So I want to get this reformed mill scale out the best I can. Because since I welded on it and got it super hot, it's going to form another layer of mill scale. So when you go to try and do your weld in one of your labs, and then you go, I don't like it, I'm going to do the backside. Well, the backside ends up coming worse because you try to run it with a mill scale. So you can take a file, because that's about the only thing that will reach into these corners, and file this mill scale off. I didn't get it all off, but it's close enough. Let me try at 80 amps again. Are you sure you can only do 80 amps on your, Are you sure you can only do 80 amps on your 110 outlet? Because you might be able to do 80 amp stick welding, but usually when you TIG weld, you can do a lot more. Yeah, make sure you clean the backside off. Take a file and scrape it up. Now, I should be able to get a better angle like this. Now, of course, because I'm gonna back you guys up just a smidgen. Shit. Right there. And I'll get going like this. Now, again, I'll do half of it at 80. And then, you know what? The other thing you can do too is preheat the plate. You have a torch or something? Let me show you. Even though I've already got heat into it, what you can do, because then it'll require less heat input, so you can preheat this thing. Now we're probably at like 300 and 400 degrees or so, but that'll help with the puddle being a little bigger. Here we go. I need some air, man. I'm hot. There you go. That's a... So, there you go. You can preheat. Oops. Preheat the metal. You can get a better weld out of it. But get it hot, like 400 degrees or so. The other thing too is, so if you run 332 7018 more than 5 seconds at 80 amps, you pop your breaker. So I'm like that at about 85, 87 amps. Watch the amperage. I'll run 120. Now, it's important to note too, I'm not using 2% thoriated, I'm using a tri-element, so it doesn't require more heat to run. What you can do is, instead of using the red tungsten, get some yellow or get some purple and do the same thing. It's not gonna require as much amperage to get the same size weld as 2% thoriated or the red tungsten weld. But at 120 amps, I can make a decent size weld and a decent speed. You guys can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Uh-oh. I slipped. So yeah, I can run 120 amps all day, and that's a much better weld. As a matter of fact, that was actually a little hot. I didn't have to go that hot. So that's the difference between the tungstens. Red's a really good, nice, stable tungsten, but it requires more amperage to run properly. Now, let's up the ante a little bit. I wouldn't say bad house wiring. I would say you probably have more circuits on that. You probably have more things plugged in on that circuit than what it can handle once you put that welder in. Like, for example, my outlet that I have, mine's on a 20 amp breaker. That outlet powers this corner of the shop, and that's it. But including that, I've got a couple chargers plugged in. I've got my light plugged in. That's about it, I guess. So it's just the amount of stuff you have plugged into that circuit, more than likely. Now, since we have this open, I'm going to put this off to the side for now, let it cool off. I'm going to take 2 more pieces, and I'm going to... Yeah, if you unplug everything, it would probably be a lot better. But you can still run, if you can run 80 amps on 7018, you should be able to run... If you can run 75 amps on 7018 all day, you should be able to run about 110 amps, I would think. 100 to 110. So watch this. So now, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep it at 120 amps. I'm going to pulse it. I'm at 120, so we'll pulse down to 50. 6 hertz pulse. Duty cycle, I like to pop it up to about 65%. Slope down, I'm not worried about slope. Stop at 21. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to run about 0.6 hertz with a 65% duty cycle. Now those precision TIGs, they can't do all that stuff. And I'll show you when you have the proper pulsing settings, what it can do. And in reality, in the field, you're going to use pulse pretty much every time it's available to you. Where did my filler metal go? Where did it go? Well, fuck it. Yes, sir. You too. Thank you. Happy practicing. Let's get this thing tacked. Attack's gonna be this pulse is gonna be a little slow. All right. So I'm still running 120 amps. So it's going to take, usually you want to run a little bit more amperage when you're pulsing. But, not today, Junior. You see? Yeah, you see. First off, it keeps the metal a lot cooler. But secondly, it makes my welds look a lot prettier. Whoop, whoop. Yep. Yes, sir. All right, so you guys wanted to see me try and use tungsten as a filler metal. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna turn pulse off for that. So I got 332 tri-element. I'm gonna grab a 16th inch, I'll grab a laminated one. The safest one that I can use would be a 16th inch lanthanated. I'm gonna do this last little bit and see if I can, I'm pretty confident I'll be able to make a weld with it. The thing is about tungsten is that it is very tough, but it's very brittle. So let's see if I can finish this weld out with a tungsten as my filler metal. You guys are sick, just so you know. You guys are just sick. It does not like it at all. Like at all. I need less amperage. Well, I need more amperage, but I also need less. You know what I'm gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do now. Watch this, ready? Oh. Well, that was interesting. I'm gonna cut another piece off, and I'm gonna see if I can make a halfway decent weld. Yeah, I'm getting a puddle going like I normally would, but when you are adding the tungsten as the filler, the tungsten doesn't melt very well. Well, I mean, so the only reason why tungsten acts weird when you're welding with it on the electrode is that it's when you got the electricity coming off of it and trying to melt the puddle, it does weird things. When you're using it as a filler metal, basically all you're doing is just melting it. And tungsten's melting point is higher than steel, but not so much higher that it's like incompatible. It's compatible. As a matter of fact, there's tungsten in some hardened steels. So I'm gonna cut another piece off my other piece. Do one more and then I'm going to bed. So I am going to. Oh, look how ugly my tungsten got though. I'm gonna turn my post gas up. And see if that helps at all. I'm gonna take my regular filler rod and try and just to get the tack. Then I'm gonna turn it down about 105 because I have to hang out for a while for this to melt. We'll see how it does now. So it's taking all the heat away pretty quickly. and putting it into my hand. This is a very dense weld. I'm gonna try and do a little bit more, and then I'll show you what happens when we go to break this. You get a little bit of it's all contaminated now. But that tungsten doesn't turn into a liquid like the steel. It turns into like a gel. Get in there. Uh-oh. I'm stuck now. There we go. It's getting hot. Ooh, boy. So that tungsten, when it melts, it's right at that edge of that melting point. So it's not, yeah, that came out bad. It's not really melting into a liquid. It turns into like this gelatin that I'm trying to force in. So I'm gonna let that cool down a little bit. Ooh, it's already cracking. You hear it? I'm gonna be gentle with it. I'm gonna be gentle. I'm gonna let that cool down. Okay. Now, if I put this, into the vise and I pull on it, you can imagine what's gonna happen. My pliers aren't gonna hold it. So if I pull on this, all right, if it's a halfway decent weld, it just bends. Okay, that weld is stronger than the base material. All right, so that's what happens when you have a good weld with a good filler metal. It'll hold up. And I could sit there and wiggle it back and forth. Eventually it'll break somewhere in the filler metal, somewhere in the heat affected zone, I would assume. But this weld, watch what happens when I go to break this. And if this doesn't work, I'm gonna look like an absolute idiot. But at the risk of that, there you go. Tungsten is super hard, but it is super brittle. Now, if you were to x-ray that weld, that thing would be just bright white. And that's what happens when you use tungsten as filler metal. Good suggestion, though. I'm glad it worked. I was going to look like an idiot if it didn't. All right. Well, that'll be a short for tomorrow. Thanks, Gavin. You too. You enjoy the rest of your night. Good luck with the TIG class. Turn my gas off so I don't lose any more. I definitely have a leak somewhere. Not a problem. I always love doing weird shit like that. So if you're on any of my lives and I have some free time, I take suggestions like that. I love doing them. Okay. Now, hopefully tomorrow, what I plan on doing, I'm not going to be live when I do it, but what I plan on doing is cutting those flanges for the rear axle. At some point. And then I'll be on live tomorrow night, and I should be able to put them on. But thank you everybody for watching. That's been 2 hours of just random stuff. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for more. That's coming together quite nicely, and I'll see you later.